we will start in 100 seconds. Please have a seat. यार बिठाओ अपने बंदों को तो बिठा दो यार उनको तो कहो यार बातें कर रहे हो तो उनको बिठा दो बोलो बैठो I know we have met for a very long time. We will start because some distinguished guests have to leave exactly at 3:15. So please help me out to have a seat kindly. May I ask the dignitaries to remain in the first row or the second, and the rest of the guests should go to row number 3 and below. Roseanne? I'm waiting for the live stream session to start so we can see if the audio and everything is okay. Yeah, it's going live. Yes, it's on the YouTube. I can send you a WhatsApp link. So. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My name is Mubarak Ahmed. I welcome you here at the gymnasium of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at National Headquarters. Just a housekeeping note that this is the York Region program. Our flag and premier program will be tomorrow, where the Indigenous chiefs and some federal ministers are also coming there. But we welcome you here in this York Region program. As a tradition of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, for the Remembrance Day program, we will start with the recitation of the Holy Quran, and I will request Basil Raza Bhatt to recite the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you all. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان The English rendering of the verses just recited in front of you, selected from the Holy Quran, chapter 55, verses 60 and 62, is as follows. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Which then of the favors of your Lord will you twain, O men and jinn, deny? The reward of beneficence is nothing but beneficence. Which then of the favors of your Lord will you twain, O men and jinn, deny? Freedom is not without cost, liberty not without sacrifice. And those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for the preservation of the two have done us the greatest act of good. Islam teaches us to return every goodness we receive back to its giver. We may never be able to return this goodness in kind, but lest we forget, what we can do is exactly the reason we have gathered here today. We will remember them. À présent, je vais vous présenter la traduction française des versets du Saint-Coran qui viennent d'être récités, sélectionnés du chapitre 55, versets 60 à 62. Au nom d'Allah, le gracieux, le miséricordieux, lequel donc des bienfaits de votre Seigneur nierez-vous, ô hommes et djinns? La récompense de la bonté peut-elle être autre chose que de la bonté? Lequel donc des bienfaits de votre Seigneur nierez-vous, ô hommes et djinns? La liberté ne se concrétise pas sans coût. Elle est le fruit du sacrifice. Et ceux qui se sont consentis à faire le sacrifice ultime pour nous garantir cette liberté, nous ont très certainement fait le plus grand acte de bienfaisance. L'islam nous enseigne à réciproquer le bien qui nous est fait. Certes, il n'est pas toujours possible de réciproquer en totalité la bonté qui nous est faite. Mais n'oublions pas que ce que nous pouvons faire en retour, c'est exactement la raison pour laquelle nous sommes réunis ici aujourd'hui. Nous nous souviendrons d'eux. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah. Jaza.
Thank you, Basil. As the tradition to do the land acknowledgement, I will request Sayyid Farooq Shehzad. He is also the chair of this year Remembrance Day campaign from coast to coast. And as we speak, there is 14 exhibitions are established across the Canada. And from Newfoundland to Victoria, our volunteers are going out and collecting funds for Royal Canadian Legion.
Thank you, Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May peace and blessing of Allah be on you. So I'm honored to acknowledge the territorial of Aboriginal. I want to acknowledge that I'm seated here today within the traditional territories of Huron-Wendat Nation, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Mississaugas of the north of New Credit First Nation. The territory is within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe and allied nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. York region is home to many First Nations, Métis, and other indigenous people from across Turtle Island. And as representative of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at in the city of Vaughan, I'm grateful to speaking here from this land today. Thank you very much.
As we remember all those who have given up their lives in the world wars, while also highlighted the often forgotten contribution from many forgotten heroes of Asia, Africa, and all in these global conflicts. Here in Canada, we also have forgotten the contributions of black veterans, Chinese veterans, and Indigenous veterans. In First World War, there were 400,000 Muslim soldiers involved from Indian subcontinent from all around the world. Some figures are 4 million from Algeria, Morocco, Somalia. All faiths stood side by side for a common goal. We have so much shared history that even today we can learn from. The founder of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, received a divine revelation about the First World War 9 years before the event in 1905. In the form of 12 couplets and poems, he narrated the events and prophesied it. Some of our history students have done some research on this, and you will be surprised how much the prophecies has been fulfilled. I will read one or two couplets. A sign will appear sometime from now, which shall overwhelm the villages, towns, and meadows. The wrath of God will bring revolution in the world. The naked one will have no time to fasten his trousers. Suddenly, a calamity will severely shake them all. Be thy human trees, rocks, and oceans. In the twinkling of an eye, the land will turn upside down, and the streams of blood will flow like a water of rivulet. Those whose night garments were white as jasmine will be in the morning like a sycamore tree. Men shall lose their senses, and birds their conscience, and nightingale and pigeons will forget their songs. That hour will bear heavily upon every traveler, and wayfarers will lose their way in confusion. With the blood of dead, the running waters of highland, streams will turn red like a breast syrup. The terror of it will exhaust everyone, great and small, and even the Tsar, and that's talking about the Tsar of Russia. Tsar at that hour will be in a pitiable state. And as we know, the history have shown in 1917 what happened in Russia. That divine sign will specimen of terror. The sky will attack with the drawn sword. The air power was used first time in World War I. Hasten not to reputable this, thou fool, for my truthfulness depends entirely on the fulfillment of this sign. This is the prophecy based on the divine revelation by promised Messiah, and surely it's fulfilled. Wait then and while in righteousness and steadfastness. This is printed all over in 1905 at the Brahine Ahmadiyya chapter 5. With the remembrance of World War I and the sacrifices, we also reflect on what lessons can learn to prevent World War III. The worldwide leader of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, has repeatedly highlighted the importance of peace, justice, and equality among people and nations to prevent further conflicts. Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada proudly support our armed forces for several years. As I mentioned, this is the 100th year of poppy. 100 years ago, some brave women have started this poppy symbol, and now it's 100 years old. Royal Canadian Legion have released this special poppy. There's another poppy, which I have it. This is the one, you can buy it. And November the 8th is also remembered as Indigenous Veterans Day, and this is a special poppy which our Indigenous veterans normally wear. In order to start the program and to combine with Muslim for Remembrance Day ceremony, I will ask to play a small video and then the poem In Flanders Fields. May I ask all the audience to stand because we will start the official Remembrance Day program.
In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. if ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. The response from the audience is, we will remember them. Thank you for remembering Canada. Now, the last post. Two-minute silence. Rouse. They were young as we are young. They served givingly freely of themselves. To them we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry the torch and never forget. We will remember them. Please be seated. So the first speaker to represent the city of Vaughan will be representing the mayor, His Worship Deputy Mayor Mario Ferry. He will come and say a minute of remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here to bring greetings on behalf of Mayor Mauricio Bevilacqua and members of council. And joining me today is Ward 1 Councillor Marilyn Ayafredi, Ward 3 Councillor Rosanna Di Francesca, and Ward 4 Councillor Sandra Young-Racco. It's a real pleasure to be here to celebrate with you the fact that the poppy is now celebrating its 100th anniversary. And this is important because it brings attention and allows us to benefit from the sacrifice and the work that was done by veterans of yesterday and those that serve today. Canada is a great country. It's a place that has attracted millions of people from all over the world. And for me, it's my country of choice, and I'm sure for many of you, it's also a country of choice. So for the Ahmadiyyan community to establish a national campaign to celebrate the results of what these brave men and women have done is worthy of congratulations. So to all of you who are involved in this campaign, it's wonderful to be able to participate not only here, but right across this great country. So congratulations and thank you to the Ahmadiyyan community. Thank you to those who have made it possible for us to be here and those who will continue to make it possible for us to enjoy the fruits of Canada. Thank you, and we will remember.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Mario. And just to let both local councillors know that they will be three councillors, they will be speaking also. So representing Canada, on behalf of the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and with the special message, the re-elected third times Member of Parliament, Francesco Subera. 21 is a great year for him. He also blessed with a third daughter, so congratulations on that and third election. Please, Francesco.
Thank you, Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good afternoon. I do wish to acknowledge we are on the traditional territories of many First Nations here in the city of Vaughan and York region. Before I do read the comments from the Prime Minister, I just want to say thank you to the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at for everything they do here in the community, but also everything the community does across this country. Including last night's presentation and experience for the many young people down at the ACC. It was wonderful to see. I've been able to participate in a Remembrance Day ceremony many times now, and it is probably one of the most special and most honored things a elected representative can do at whichever level of government. And my experience so far, and I do wish to share this, in 2019, my last official trip outside of Canada as an elected representative, we went to Italy for the 75th anniversary of the Italian campaign. And with the Commonwealth war graves that I visited, whether it was in Agira, Sicily, or Ortona, or Monte Cassino, or just north of those two areas, there are Commonwealth soldiers buried from every land, but Commonwealth soldiers buried of every faith. Sikhs, Jewish, Muslim, and Christian. And they all fought for the ideals that Canada represents. Ideals of freedom of speech, protection of minority rights, democracy, everything we hold so dear, all those brave men and women fought for many, many decades ago, independent of faith, independent of where they came from. And I know in my 6 years of serving now as a Member of Parliament, that trip, those experiences, along with the 15 World War II veterans that accompanied us, and I believe we've lost a few since that trip in November 2019, and watching those men go to those towns where they fought, where their friends died, where one soldier actually met a young Italian boy who at that time was age 5 and liberated that boy and his family at one of the places we visited, one of the towns we visited, will forever hold dear to my heart and to my experience as a member of Parliament that I have the privilege of doing so for the 3rd term. Thank you, Mubarak, for that reminder. I'll just read briefly the comments from the Prime Minister, and we'll go from there. It is with great honor that I join the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada in marking the 11th annual Muslims for Remembrance Day campaign. Every year from the last Friday in October until Remembrance Day, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada focuses its volunteering efforts to support the annual Poppy campaign of Royal Canadian Legions across the country, standing shoulder to shoulder with our veterans, which number over 630,000 in Canada. During the nationwide Poppy campaign, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada raises funds and organizes virtual Remembrance Day ceremonies to commemorate Remembrance Day and National Veterans Day as a special tribute to our veterans. Indeed, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada plays a significant role in supporting our Canadian troops and veterans who sacrifice their lives for our country and who continue protecting us today. Remember every Canadian who has sacrificed their future for generations beyond their own. We stand today free and at peace because of them. Despite challenges faced by the pandemic, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Canada for their remarkable work during the pandemic and for their significant contributions to the Poppy campaign. Please accept my best wishes for a successful and memorable event. Right Honourable Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesco. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, as a Member of Parliament, was the first elected federal Member of Parliament who endorsed this campaign in 2012, and for the last 10 years, he's quite supportive of it. I hope he will talk in this caucus and say our thanks to him. Next, representing the Queen's official opposition, royal opposition, and the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Aaron O'Toole. I just want to give a historical background. Right Honourable Prime Minister Harper was the first elected sitting Prime Minister who have publicly endorsed this campaign in 2014. And that video is still the most popular video on our campaign trail. And then he was so kind enough, he did that again in 2015. And then he was so kind enough, he did it in 2016 after the retirement. So we are very thankful. And you share the previous leader have sent the special video, and the last year, Aaron O'Toole has also sent the special message on 10th Remembrance Day campaign. Might be, next year we will get a good message. I will request to read the leader's message, Melissa, and then after Melissa, our local, newly minted, elected MP from the riding of King Vaughan, Anna Roberts. These both women have just been elected, and they are newly elected Member of Parliament.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having us, and thank you for the work that you do. I've had the opportunity to be inspired by and learn from and get to know some of the young people in the Ahmadiyya community in Vaughan and around the country. Unfortunately, Aaron O'Toole was unable to join us today, but he asked me to share this message on his behalf. And every year during Remembrance Week, we remember the fallen sons and daughters of Canada, our brothers and sisters, men and women from all faiths, all backgrounds, and regions of the country who have served side by side to preserve our freedoms, including the freedom to worship according to our beliefs. We remember the millions of Muslims who have fought under the Canadian flag and the flags of our allies. And since 1919, Canadians have commemorated Remembrance Day. With over a century later, we continue to pay tribute to our veterans, to those injured in the line of duty, and those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our liberty. These Canadians represent the very best of what it means to be Canadian. We wear poppies to represent that, and we pause on the 11th, at 11 a.m. on November 11th, the very moment World War I ended, to remember our country's freedoms that came at a great cost. Every day we strive to honor their sacrifice. My goal and that of Canada's loyal opposition and Canada's Conservatives is to continue building a country where everyone can live safe, prosperous lives free of discrimination and reach our full potential. Today and every day we remember our veterans with immense gratitude, lest we forget. To my colleague Anna Roberts.
Good afternoon. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. November 11th, to me, is a very special day because I will personally share with you that I was fortunate enough to be born on that day. And I will never forget my grandfather telling me the story that we are all one. And I am blessed to be born on a day that we need to remember the people that fought for us. No matter where you come from, no matter what culture, we are united as one. And the freedoms of Canada are enjoyed by the people that went to battle for us. So on behalf of King Vaughan, I'm honored to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Anna, for such a kind word on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition. My next speaker is the person who helped us to grow this campaign, and he's kind enough to put that in official record of the Queen's Park. And he stood up with us even when he was not a member of provincial parliament. Now he is the Education Minister, Honorable Stephen Lecce, representing Province of Ontario.
Assalamu alaikum. It's good to be with you all today, with my colleague, Minister Michael Tobolo, and other parliamentarians from the city and from the federal government. You know, we reflect with a great sense of pride on the contributions the women and men have made on land, sea, and air to the contribution of global peace, of freedom, and of democracy. I reflect upon my experiences getting to know some of those women and men, some of those brave individuals who put their country before themselves. And I think at the core of Remembrance, it's the recognition of how grateful, how honored we are to be Canadians in the best nation on earth, a country that throughout human history has always shed light in darkness, has always been there to unleash freedom where there was tyranny. And we should be so incredibly proud of the history of our country, of the sacrifice of those individuals who've given so much of themselves to the advancement of those values, of those Canadian fundamental values of freedom, of equality, of justice, and of democracy. I was fortunate in my former role working for the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, to have joined him in various settings around the world. And I met Canadian soldiers on the HMCS Fredericton in the North Atlantic, who were there serving part of what's called Operation Reassurance to help deploy NATO allies to support those countries near Russia that face aggression. And I met a woman who recently, a sailor, who recently had a child and was on the HMCS Fredericton every day, enthusiastic in the service of her country. And I remember asking her, perhaps in my own naivete many years ago, you know, wouldn't you rather be home with your young daughter? And her answer has stuck with me ever since. She said, "This is my duty to country." The sense of putting her own family secondary to the service of our nation and to the advancement of those values, I think speaks to the character of the people that are in the Canadian Forces, those who have served and those who continue to serve today. So we honor them. I also want to honor the Muslims who have served in the Commonwealth armies who serve today in the Canadian military who give back. There's one young man, Captain Butt, who serves with the Canadian Forces. He's a young Ahmadi, an incredibly inspiring man who on his own volition chose to enter service because he said, according to the spiritual leader of the Ahmadiyya Muslim faith, love of country is part of faith, the sense of duty that comes with faith. And I think it is so amazing to see young Ahmadis rise in the Canadian Forces, in the police, in law enforcement, in our country, in our democracy. So I say thank you to every one of you for paying a time of reflection on the pride of those who've served. And I am so happy to see young people with us today, because the torch of remembrance is with you and in all of our hearts. Thank you, and lest we forget.
Thank you, Minister Lecce, and our local MPP for King Vaughan. Also representing the province of Ontario, and just before I invite him, I just want to mention that Premier have kindly sent the message. Some of the MPPs have already started delivering in the other events, so I hope next time you guys will come and they will send it to you guys. But tomorrow there is a video might be coming from the Premier at Brampton event. And I will request Honorable Michael Tibolo to say a few words on behalf of the province of Ontario.
Assalamu alaikum. It is truly an honor for me to be with all of you here today to celebrate and honor the people that have given their lives for the freedom that we enjoy today. Earlier we heard the words that freedom, liberty, is the fruit of sacrifice. And when you think of it, the fruit is really a bittersweet fruit because it came with an incredible cost to so many people. And when you think about a day like today, a day that we are remembering the people that gave their lives, we have to reflect on the fact that in the past, in the present, still serving today, there are people that have family that are feeling that bittersweetness of freedom. And many of us take it for granted. You know, we forget what it took and what it takes to maintain the freedom that we sometimes take for granted in this country. So what I want to say to everyone that is listening today, we think of those that have given their lives and sacrificed themselves for our freedom on November the 11th during Remembrance Week, but we should really honor them and remember them every single day and thank them for the sacrifices they made and thank their families for sharing them with us and giving us that opportunity. You know, when we talk about wars, we talk about battles and freedom and how we need sometimes to demonstrate that through force. I have to say that one of the lessons that I've learned in the years that I've spent now working with the Ahmadiyya community is the words that, you know, that we hear all the time: love for all, hatred for none. And if you think about it, if perhaps more people in the world would practice, not just say those words, but actually practice the way your community does, I don't know if there'd be a need for war anymore. So I am extremely grateful for the honor of being called a friend to many of the people in the Ahmadiyya community. And I know that our province and our country is much richer as a nation as a result of the contributions that have been made by the Ahmadiyya community, and also the gestures of using and actually doing what they say with those words, actually putting them into action, because that demonstrates the peace that we need to have in this world. So on behalf of the province of Ontario, my colleagues, all of my colleagues, including those from the municipality, those from the federal government, I want to say thank you to the community, and thank you for giving us here the opportunity and the privilege of being part of a day where we remember the people that gave us this opportunity, lest we forget.
Thank you, Minister Tibolo. I will invite the three amazing leaders, female leaders of the community, And with my apology, I will invite them together. I hope they can do a social distancing and then do the speeches together. First, the local councillor of Ward 1, and might be I will ask the other two to say, local Marilyn Ifreti, our next door councillor for Ward 3, Rosanna De Francesca, and for the Ward 4, Sandra Youngracco. Thank you.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to speak. I think everyone has said everything. But I do truly want to say thank you to my extended family, the Ahmadiyyan community here, for doing what you do, for doing this, for recognizing this. There are very few organizations out there other than the Legion and some of the veteran cemeteries that actually host something in recognition once a year for Remembrance Day. So, and today I've learned that you've gone across Canada. This is incredible, and bless you all for what you do for this and for everything else you do for our community and all communities and for our veterans. I think Mr. Tibolo said it very well when we must always remember on a daily basis, why are we here and why do we have the freedoms we have? It's not good enough just to remember once a year, but we should all personally be thanking those that fought for us each and every day to give us a new day. And so I want to say thank you again to all of you. This is always an incredible event. We must never forget, because it's in the blink of an eye that a new war can start. We need to remember what has happened in the past, those who sacrificed, and that we should do all we can to ensure that no one else is sacrificed for our freedoms. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to thank the Ahmadiyyan Muslim community for giving me a few minutes to speak today, and also to organize this event in honor of the millions of lives men and women all over the world have sacrificed in order for us to be here and enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today, and to honor the ones that continue to fight for our continued freedom. I don't think that there's any greater sacrifice of oneself to do what they've done for this country and other countries around the world. And so we are grateful and we honor them today, and we should never, ever forget them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be here, and I want to thank the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for inviting us to be here with you. It is quite often that we take for granted that we live in a peaceful world. We live in harmony here, and we don't remember those who are fighting and who are trying to survive in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. And so Remembrance Day should not be just one day, as many say. It should be something that we remember all the time, every day, 365 days in the year. We need to remember those who have sacrificed, who have fought for our country, who have fought for our freedom to give us a better life, for us to be able to live in peace and harmony. And we also have to pay tribute to all those who have been hurt, who have been struck by fighting for us and are still trying to live through their lives. We must remember those people as well. And I want to commend the Ahmadiyya Muslim for putting this campaign together. It's not only about putting the Poppy campaign in to remember, but the fact that you are educating our younger generation to remember, because many of them have not and will not have to go through the wars that we have, that we haven't even seen, the people before us have seen. So it's wonderful that you continue to educate them, but it's not only just for your community, but right across the entire country. All of our young generation should learn and remember all the sacrifices that our men and women have fought for us, have done for what we have now, and we are always grateful for what we have. So thank you, remember, and let's not forget.
thank you to these three great ladies or leaders of the community and representing different wards. Just to give an update, our ladies have started the poppy campaign, and if you follow on Instagram or Twitter, there's a beautiful cupcakes, scarves, and even handmade poppies. This next year, our plan might be to 5,000 donations to the indigenous leaders so they can sell and they can generate some revenue. On international level, Muslim for Remembrance campaign, with the guidance of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the fifth successor of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, started in 2017. And as we speak, it is now in 26 countries, 12 to 13 of the Commonwealth, and 12 to 13 NATO and non-allied nations. So they also do the Remembrance Day with the same hashtag, Muslim for Remembrance. Only three items remaining, and I will and the fourth item is most important, the food at the end. So the closing remarks from our national Vice President of Ahmadiyya Elders Muslim Association. Our president was supposed to deliver that remarks, but he just 15 minutes ago received a news that his aunt have passed away and he have to go there. I offer my sincere condolences to him, and I hope our condolences to his family. So I will request Arshad Malik, who will be representing Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat on behalf of Malik Lal Khan and Ahmadiyya Muslims Elder Association.
In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum. May peace and blessing Allah be on you. It is with immense pleasure that I thank you for joining us our 11th annual Muslim Remembrance Day campaign. Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada is celebrating this campaign across the country. We are proud to be part of this noble cause and provide support to those that have made sacrifice for our beloved country, Canada. As a way of introduction, I would like to introduce the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat to our guests who are with us today. Our community was founded in 1989 as a revival movement within Islam, emphasizing the essential teachings of peace, love, justice, and sanctity of life. Today, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada is the world's largest Islamic community under the divine appointed leader, His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat span over 200 nations with membership exceeding tens of millions. We are a thriving community in Canada and local centers spread coast to coast. Every year in dozens of cities, Ahmadiyya Muslim Elders Association, which is auxiliary Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, proudly add to the humanitarian framework its towns and cities we live in. We are forever involved in the good things, including activities such as local street cleanups, local food bank donations, blood donations, raising funds for charities, holding charity runs and walks across the country that mainly support healthcare, and holding today's event, that Muslims Remembrance Day. Every year, we participate in poppy campaign across Canada in coordination with the Royal Canada Legion. Ahmadiyya Muslim Elders Association raises hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of our veterans through poppy campaign. This year marked the 100th year of poppy, a symbol of remembrance to recognize the sacrifices that we made for the freedom, and it forgoes a bond between people of all ages. This year, Ahmadiyya Muslim Elders Association has tried to step up our efforts to ensure that funding is strong for the Legion. At this time of the year, we remember the men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice of our freedom and way of life. Today, we wear our red poppy as a tangible sign of remembrance, past and present. I encourage all Ahmadiyya members listening today to take time to donate to the poppy campaign, and if possible, proudly wear a poppy in remembrance. If you have not donated so, please do so at your earliest. All veterans, the men and women who have answered to call for their country and put their lives on the lines of us, deserve a proud gratitude and respect. Thank you for all guests who have taken part in our program today so that we all together show our support to our veterans and to Canada, lest we forget.
Thank you very much. Just to give in the perspective of the local audience, might be you're not aware that this is streaming live and a lot of people are watching due to the limitations of the hall and the social distancing, so we have only invited a limited guest. So I will now be reading some names, and might be I will asking that as everybody will be able to see you on live, you go one by one and take a poppy box and offer on the table, or you can place it there. So starting in an order of protocols representing Canada and the Prime Minister, Francesco Sobera. Just offer the poppy and then you can have a seat. Representing the official opposition and the local riding, Anna Roberts. Representing the official opposition, one by one, wait for your turn. Once the one person is gone, then you can. Melissa Lantzman. Just place it there, or either put it on the poppy, or then you can place at the wreath. Yes, on the wreath. If any team member wants to take their photographs, they can go one by one, but make sure the rest of the audience can watch it, and it is streaming live. Representing the province of Ontario, Honorable Stephen Lecce. And Honorable Michael Tobolo. Representing City of Vaughan, Deputy Mayor Mario Ferry. Ward 1 Councillor Madeline Ifrati. Ward 3 Councillor Rosanna Di Francesca. Ward 4 Councillor Sandra Young Rocco. Representing our national president and the president of Ahmadiyya Muslims Elders Association, Malik Arshad. Representing National Executive Body of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, Asif Khan and Nadeem Mahmood. Nadeem Mahmood is also representing York Region District School Board as a local trustee. Representing the local chapter president, Zubair Mangla. representing Ahmadiyya Muslims Elder Association, Outreach Department, Kashif Ahmed, and the Tabligh Department, Muhammad Abdullah. Please come out and offer the poppy. If anybody is speaking behind the curtains, representing the local chapters, Zia and Iqbal Bajwa Sahab from the ISAR department. They are doing an amazing job. They have offered already the wreaths, and they are standing, and their team is standing every single day at Costco. There was some confusion. They were not at the TTC station, but we are working out on that, and we are also working other locations. Representing local Elders Association President Muhammad Ahmed and Dr. Nasir Sheikh. There are two chapters in Vaughan. One is called the local vicinity of Maple, or it's called the Peace Village, and the rest of the Vaughan is called the City of Vaughan. Representing the young kids, and I will request two young brave boys to come together, Faik Farooq and Waleed Rana. Come to this and offer the poppy kindly. You can also take the stickers if you want. And in the beautiful scarf and the poppy scarf, and our beautiful daughter, Rabia Akbar Bhatti. Rabia Api, can you come please? The two most important persons, which I think so, they will give you a reflection of war, the suffering, and how they are facing the challenges. I want to invite Brother Javed Hakimi from Afghanistan, who just came with the 7 family members, and his son Ali Asghar Hakimi. He was working as a project manager for Canadian Embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan, for Canadian Fund Local Initiative. So if you guys want to understand what this war suffering is, please have a chat with them. They have just started the new life in Canada, and the Canadian government have done an amazing job to bring all those who stood with us shoulder to shoulder with our veterans and soldiers. Now, one by one, anybody else can come and offer the poppies. Otherwise, I will request there is a missionary here, I think so, Sadiq Saab, representing the local one, if he can come and offer the poppy. He's our newly appointed missionary here. So may somebody offer Sadiq Saab also a poppy? I will request Arshad Malik Sahab to lead us in the silent prayers and the national anthem, and that's ends the program.
Thank you very much. Before we ask for a silent prayer, I thank you very much for all the organizers, all the team, and especially the food team, Mia Naeem Saab, Akbar Har Saab, and everybody else. So thank you for them. They've been working since morning. We had another program before, and now they're doing second program. So God bless them. You can join me silent prayer any way you like. You can pray, and then we can pray. Please join me in silent prayers. Amin. Thank you very much.
There is some special appreciation certificates that some member of parliaments want to present. I will request, now the program is over, I will request some dignitaries to come on the stage, and one by one they can offer. First, representing the government, Francesco Sobera, who can come. I can request Arshad Malik Saab to join. Qaid Isar also can join, and also Qaid Tabligh from Ansarullah, and the local chapter Ansarullah president and their Dr. Nasir Saab, and also M. Muhammad Ahmad Saab. Muhammad Ahmad Saab, Iqbal Bajwa Saab, and Zia Saab, if they are here, please make sure you will be in the picture. This is the background. Everybody stay here, with the exception of Francesco. You can go, and then I will ask the both federal MPs to come as either one by one or take a picture. Okay. Thanks, Melissa and Anna. So, representing Province of Ontario, Honorable Stephen Lecce and Michael Tibolo, either they come one by one or together. Or take a one picture and then you guys can individually use for your own tweets. May I request all young girl and two young boys to come in front of the in the picture? Or usko Waleed can somebody offer a Waleed a poppy? So bring them right in front of the MPs. Thank you, Michael and Stephen. May I request the four representatives of City of Vaughan to come there, or either they can come one by one. So only thing is left is food, and the food is ready. If anybody wants to have a snacks, enjoy the snacks and mingle. Thank you very much for joining.
Hello, today I am honored to support the 11th annual Muslims for Remembrance campaign and recognize the Indigenous peoples who served in Canada and around the world. November 8th marks the National Indigenous Veterans Day to celebrate the military service and honor the contributions and sacrifices of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. While not enough recognized, it's important to remember their service to Canada. Across generations, Indigenous peoples served far from home, far from their communities, and far from their families. Today they serve around the world, and we're grateful for their contribution to Canada's safety. We pay our respects to those who sacrificed their lives for Canada, those whose lives were forever changed, families and communities in our hearts. Thank you to the organizers and volunteers of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at of Canada for their contribution to this important work that is at the recognition of Indigenous veterans.